Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a brand new product from Marc Jacobs. This is the Accomplice Concealer and Touch-Up Stick. I have used this several times. I've been trying it out with different ways with different powders, and I definitely have a full review for you guys. So what I'm going to do is talk to you about the product, how you're supposed to use it, yada yada. I'm going to show you guys me applying it and then what it looks like at 9 hours, and then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. So first, let's dive into the details. First off, I want to show you what the actual product looks like. It almost looks like a lipstick, like a nice lipstick bullet, and you pull the top off. There. And then this is what it looks like. It looks like a lipstick, but this is what's inside. And the shade that I have is light number 23. It's going to run you $32 and it has 5 grams of product in it. And it says it's a long-wearing creamy concealer and touch-up stick. Perfect for on the go in a range of 17 full coverage shades. Accomplice Concealer and Touch-Up Stick covers and blends seamlessly for skin that looks totally natural. It layers beautifully under and over makeup, blurring the look of pores, fine lines, and imperfections while hiding dark circles, blemishes, and uneven skin tone. You can apply this using a brush. You can use your finger to warm it up and press it into the skin. And you can also just swipe it on your face like I like to do and use a sponge to blend it out. So that is what I'm going to go ahead and show you. This is the other day when I was using it. I just put it straight onto my skin and then I took my sponge and I blended it out. I felt like I probably should have done one eye first and then gone into the other one because I feel like it sets up pretty quickly. So I would suggest doing one eye at a time because I feel like it kind of just stuck where it was and I had a little bit of difficulty getting it to blend out perfectly, but once it was blended out, it looked very seamless. And I'm going to show you guys up close. You can see underneath my eyes, it doesn't look matte. It looks nice and smooth and like a radiant satin finish. Now after I powder this, everything definitely looks completely perfected. You're not going to see any darkness or anything underneath my eyes. This does have really great coverage, but I don't think it's full coverage right off the bat. I think that you're going to have to layer it to get the full opacity of it, but I was wearing it with just one go and I feel like I got a nice medium coverage so that nothing was coming through. But to be honest with you guys, I don't really have dark circles or anything like that issue-wise. But I do, however, have issues with dryness and sometimes some crepiness underneath my eyes. So I've tried this with 2 different powders. I've used the Huda Beauty baking powder alone to set that area, as well as going in with this first. This is the BECCA Under Eye Brightening Powder. I really love this to really make sure everything is really nice and bright underneath the eyes and it's not too heavy with the powder. I found it to look better when I did both. So when I went in and I used a little bit of the BECCA powder right up against here and then set the rest of my pore area with the Huda Beauty powder, that's how I found it to look best. And I also found that I didn't like this concealer at all if I didn't have my primer underneath it. I felt like it was too dry for my under eyes. Now personally, I use this all the time no matter what. This is the BECCA Under Eye Anti-Fatigue Primer, but a lot of the primers that I have still look good without this, but on my skin, this looks matte and crepey underneath my eyes if I do not have this underneath it. So I don't think that this is going to be for mature skin or if you have crepey under eyes. Like I'm telling you guys, sometimes my under eyes look terrible. And I know that on those days, I'm not going to want to pull this out. I noticed right off the bat that I felt like it reminded me of something, and it reminds me a whole lot of the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I feel like this one is maybe a little bit more matte, but I also think this is just a little bit more smooth as well. But it definitely reminded me of this. So if you want some kind of comparison and what you should expect, I would say this, but maybe just a little bit more hydrating than what this is, but I still wouldn't call this like a hydrating concealer. So I'm going to show you guys what this looked like at the 9-hour mark. I wore this all day long and it did not budge. Now on camera, you're not going to see that it looks a little bit dry. A lot of times with anything matte underneath the eyes, it's sometimes can be harder for it to show up on camera, but I felt like as the day went on, I definitely got a little bit more crepey underneath the eyes, and this isn't going to be a concealer that I grab for personally. Maybe during the summer, because I don't think that this looks bad. Like today I have it on. I think it looks nice. I don't feel dry or dehydrated underneath my skin. Underneath the concealer, but I had to do all of my steps. So I had to use my primer, which is no big deal. I always do that. And then today I also used this powder as well as this one underneath my eyes to really get it to be as smooth as it possibly could be. I think if you're combo or oily, you're probably going to like this. I'm combo, but I am a little bit drier underneath my eyes. If you're oily, I think that you're really going to like this because I had no issues with it disturbing this area. Sometimes if I use a concealer, it can make my pores look disgusting, and that never happened. My only issue was right up against my eyes where you tend to have more of the fine lines. As a touch-up stick, I don't like this as a touch-up stick because it doesn't layer well over top of powder. So I always powder my face. So I felt like even warming this up with my finger, that it would it made it look kind of cakey and gross if I tried to touch up with this. However, if you're somebody who does not set your face, I think this is going to be amazing to throw in your purse. I like it better that way if I didn't set my face than I do as a concealer, because you can take this and just warm it up on your finger, and say like you had some issues around your smile lines, you could just tap it in and it looks really, really nice. I tried it one day before I did like actually set my makeup and everything. I let it set up just a little bit and then I went in and kind of touched up some areas with it, and it was really, really beautiful on the face. And I had a little spot over here and I used it to cover it to help, and it was really nice. So I think that that's how I'm going to get the majority of use out of it, is to help cover up random little spots on my face. Or if I have no sleep and I do get a little bit blue in here, this color is really nice because it has a slight peachiness to it, but not overwhelmingly so. So my final verdict for this is it's not the concealer for me, because I do think that my other ones just look so much better. My absolute favorite right now is the one from Giorgio Armani, the Power Fabric. That one has great coverage and it does not emphasize anything, and it also doesn't mess with my pores. This is another great option that I find very comparable to the Giorgio. This is the YSL Touche Éclat High Cover Radiant Concealer. This one's really nice, but you're just not getting a lot of product in there. And then while I haven't been using this because I am so stuck on that Power Fabric, the Born This Way Super Coverage Concealer I think is amazing. So if you have lines underneath your eyes, have any kind of crepiness, I think that this is going to be a harder one to work with. So just keep that in mind. Now, if you have perfect under eyes, I definitely think that you're going to like this, or again, if you are oily. But let me know what you guys think about this. What did you think about it on me? And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.